Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello, everybody. We just came off of that very successful
Walking, sir.
This is ridiculous. I was networking, that's all. Networking!
You've been advised of the charges. Let's not make it harder.
Charges for talking to some sixes and sevens?
You're under arrest for procurement. Walking, sir.
This is ridiculous. I was networking, that's all. Networking!
You've been advised of the charges. Let's not make it harder.
Charges for talking to some sixes and sevens?
You're under arrest for procurement. Walking, sir.
This is ridiculous.
I love that commercial. I love that. I love it. We are off to a good start with this No King parade rally we had. We didn't hear about any kind of arrest. Maybe there were. I don't know. We haven't heard of anything bad happening. So we off to a good start with the people protesting. We just need to keep the momentum up until November 2026, when we got to get rid of, specifically, we got to get rid of the Republicans. Because apparently every time they get in office, they screw over people. Specifically, they screw over the farmers. So we just need to keep the momentum going until November 2026. And we still need to keep our feet on the pedal, because we need to get rid of the Republicans, because they're not doing their job as they're supposed to be doing their job. They're supposed to be an equal branch, a co-equal branch of the government, and they're just letting this president run all over and do all of these things to us poor American citizens. So now, we are here today because one of the backbone employments of our country are being destroyed from these policies from this wayward administration. And it's a good thing that we have people out here wanting to stop this administration from destroying our farmers, right? So this is what we have.
Talking about the state of farmers that I've been going over pretty extensively lately.
They want to take our money. We're doing well because of tariffs. We're doing unbelievable. We're making more money than we ever have made. And by the way, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, just to get off the subject for a second. We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made. We're going to give it to our farmers, who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape, because we're taking in a lot of money.
More senselessness from this president. He's want to take tariff money, give it to these farmers who are suffering because of his tariffs, so that they can start rolling. That is until the tariff policy kicks in, and then they're going to make a lot of money. Did that make any sense to anyone? How is it you've got so much money coming in from tariff policies that you need to use it to help farmers who are suffering because of those same tariff policies? Give it to them so they can last long enough until money starts coming in from those same tariff policies, where they're going to be doing great. All you have to do is listen to them, and you'll understand how little sense he really makes. How is that possible? How are we in the golden age and also in a devastating age at the same time? But at the third part of the time, you have to wait until the golden age kicks in and everyone is doing great. How does that make any sense? How is it that no reporter standing there listening to his drivel then say, what the are you talking about? What does that mean? How is it so great but horrible at the same time? Dum-dum, how is that possible? Instead, they let him continue to elaborate on how he's going to help these farmers. that he screwed over.
I'm going to devote a little bit of that money, a little bit of the tariff money to our farmers. Our farmers have been incredible. They're the ones that let us survive and eat and enjoy our lives, right? Eat too much, maybe in some cases, like mine. But I will tell you, we're going to take some of the tariff money, a relatively small amount, but a lot for the farmers.
Listen, any farmers that are listening to this, understand, very little. Don't get excited now, bro. Very little, relatively very small amount. I mean, I may not do anything. Actually, I may just be talking because, someone whispered in my ear that my lies about the economy are catching up to me. So I got to start saying I'm going to do something about it, like have this socialist program where I give farmers money after I screw them over because somehow that's helping me. Matter of fact, I think here's another window into exactly how this policy is going to work. Pay attention. It's going to be a really detailed response.
Farmers,
Yes, go ahead.
What does that look like? Is that going to be direct checks to farmers, or is it going to be
Well, we
taxes?
haven't decided that. We'll be dealing with Brooke later.
He's got a policy in place where he's going to help the farmers because he's, thought about it. And after thinking about it, he's got no idea. I don't know. We're going to do it at some point. I got to talk to Brooke Rollins, who doesn't know about anything but kissing my ass. So after she finishes kissing my ass, then I'll ask her, how are we going to continue to lie to these folks and make them think that, we're responsible and not just hoarding all of their money. This is his explanation as to how the tariff money, and pay attention to where he got this tariff money from, is going to help these farmers that he wants to help out.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. We want them to fail. That's what you're saying out there. That's what Americans are saying right now is, well, next time you'll vote the right way, or that's what you get for who you voted for. That, to me, I want to say it doesn't sound very American of people, but here lately, that's all we're doing is complaining.
No disrespect, sir, but you are sadly mistaken. The American people had empathy. That's why we voted the way we did. We knew what would happen to the farmers. They told us what would happen to the farmers. We had a previous presidency that showed us what would happen to the farmers. And some of us, not enough of us, voted with empathy because we didn't.
And that's the thing. We saw what the tariffs did to farmers the last time. That's how we know what is going to happen to the farmers this time. And what happened to the farmers this time. That's why. Because we already saw it in his first term. Ziggy Bear, you're unserious and you're an idiot. You're an idiot, okay? But because if you're sitting here still defending the foolery, you're an idiot. Because he already did what he already did, and we already know what's going on with the tariffs. The farmers are being destroyed. Same thing, different day.
We didn't want to see the farmers lose their farms. We didn't want people to go bankrupt and go out of business. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough of us with empathy to vote in that direction. There were too many of us that voted for other people to suffer and other people to face cruelties. And now you got to suffer the consequences. We can't feed everybody. That's socialism. We can't give health care to everybody. That's socialism. We can't provide student loan relief. That's socialism. But now if the farmers want a bailout, I got news for you. That's socialism. Y'all don't like socialism. So again, my mom said sometimes you gotta let people touch the stove and suffer the consequences. Meet your consequences.
About $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue. Just
left to rot.
Yeah, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here.
Oregon farmer Ian Chandler says about half his usual crew didn't show up this season, leaving him scrambling to backfill dozens of positions.
You're calling them, I assume, individually
Yes.
and saying,
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes. And so
what are they telling you?
Well, in the beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from. And that kind of had a chilling effect on people wanting to move.
While Ian says his workers are hired with what seemed to be a valid ID and work papers, fear of ICE raids kept many of them from traveling north.
Sweetheart, you're going to want to sit down for this. See, you think that I'm a farmer on welfare, like this guy.
We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. Our EQIP program...
Wasn't that the program that Biden put into place to help the farmers after they got screwed over by Trump the first time? Wasn't that the program that Biden put into place? Biden didn't do jack shit for nobody. Wow. Some of y'all just dumb. Climb, you really dumb.
Which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act.
But, see, there's a problem. I'm black and native, and you may not know this, but welfare is for white people. Oh, and I mean that literally. The USDA got successfully sued for limiting farm welfare only to white people. Now, I'm sure if this had happened to you, then you would have just sat in a puddle and pouted and crossed your arms and called your daddy like the beta cuck child that you are. But one of the key elements of black boy magic is that if we can't go through you, then we're just gonna go around you, which is why my business is funded entirely by private investment and consumer trade. Trade deals that I made, by the way, so that your dumbass president can't fuck them up. Oh, and speaking of messing up trade deals, and let me show you something real quick. See this right here? This is a field of soybeans. And the MAGA farmer that planted it better hope that I keep buying 1,000 bushels of the stuff every week for my livestock feed, since he no longer has an export destination for it. Also, between my personal and business income taxes, pass-through taxes, payroll taxes, sales taxes, regulatory filings, and fees, I'm on track to pay various governments nearly $200,000 this year. Far from me taking anything from the government, you better hope that I keep paying my taxes so that you can get your EBT benefits, which white people overwhelmingly benefit from. Even after all these centuries, all the affirmative action, all the DEI, all the stuff that you say we don't deserve, I'm still working twice as hard to get half as much just to give the other half to you for free. But that's okay, because I'm going to take my half, I'm going to create magic for me and everybody around me, and we're going to live happily ever after. And you are still going to be sitting there with your free crap whining about it the whole time. And that's the day you deserve.
Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole fucking list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do.
Y'all do know the rich dudes that we gave the tax breaks to, They're buying up all the farms. They're buying up our farmers' farms. Those rich dudes that you all gave the taxes to. Cut the taxes for the rich in June. When was it? When did the big beautiful bill get passed? Oh, yeah. Isn't it about 5 or 6 farms, big farms that have been bought out? Okay, right? This is a concentrated effort to do what they got to do for the farmers, for the farms, the rich people. J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is the head of one of these companies that are buying up these farms. Jesus.
A land grab. Basically, what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about 1/3 of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0. That is a long.
So, seeing as how Trump just gave Argentina a $40 billion bailout for their product, Argentina just turned around and took their tax off of their soybeans, which was 25%, and then sold the whole shebang to China. So China was buying soybeans from us. Now, seeing as how Trump gave them a bailout of $40 billion, China went over there and bought all those soybeans from Argentina instead of us, because it was a business decision. So that means what? The American worker, farmer, got fucked over for real. For real, for real.
Farming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years ago. And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place, a phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs. And we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place. Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yes.
71% of the losses. The reason why we know that it's deliberate is because the president did it in 2018 and 19. He did it back then too. He started a tariff war that would break our farmers off. And he did it real proper like too. Then he had to bail them out. He's doing the same thing now. That's why we know that the farmers going to get screwed over. But here's the big shebang. The farmers didn't expect Trump to actually give the Argentinian people a $40 billion bailout, nor did they think that Argentina was going to turn around and sell their stuff to China. This is wild. This is wild. Y'all hit the like button. Oh, glory with your dumb ass. All Glory seems to remind me that we don't have any likes. Unfortunately, there's no lying. Prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong. That's wild. So anyway, American farmers. Back to the screwing of the American farmers.
So if we look at, and we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost saying all 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also too a bit of a dichotomy in the US is that we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. It's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world, that's just going to keep prices, really on the defense.
Oh no, Lauren, they don't bother me because they know the truth. They know the truth. They just haven't faced it. They just haven't faced the fact that their president is trash. They just haven't. As long as they haven't, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They zombies. It's cool.
It's quite challenging. I mean, it's a blood.
I'll stick to the cities, the suburbs. I'll even go over there on one of the farms. Well, one of your white boys is losing his farm, and then that new white boy, J.D. Vance, is stealing all their land. Oh, glory, you cunt.
Or becoming one.
You know what really grinds my gears? Being told we can't use our tax dollars to give people health care, but we can. In fact, we must use our tax dollars to bail out farmers who literally voted for the exact policies that are destroying their livelihoods right now. Apparently, socialism is bad, unless you own a tractor. Then it's called farm aid.
Right now, and what we need is a strong demand for soybeans and other ag products, and get some trade going instead of scaring it away.
I'm sorry, farm boy. It ain't gonna be none of that. The problem is your president just screwed you over. You think your president doesn't know that Argentina was gonna sell all of their soybeans to China, your customer? You didn't think the president knew that they were gonna turn around and screw you out of your partner? Now you don't have a partner to take your soybeans. So what are you going to do next season? That's wild. Oops. That's wild. Okay.
Challenging. I mean, it's a bloodbath, or becoming one.
You know what really grinds my gears? Being told we can't use our tax dollars to give people health care, but we can. In fact, we must use our tax dollars to bail out farmers who literally voted for the exact.
Yes, we have to bail out everybody. All of us who make between $30,000 and $150,000, we're the ones who have to take care of everybody. We have to subsidize the farmers. We got to give the rich people tax breaks. We got to give Argentina $40 billion. We got to give Israel all their little money. And then you Republican zombies just loving it. You just loving it. I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of you telling me that you're America first when y'all trash. When it's just trash. This right here is trash. Us having to bail them out, that's trash.
Policies that are destroying their livelihoods right now. Apparently, socialism is bad, unless you own a tractor. Then it's called farm aid.
Right now, and what we need is a strong demand for soybeans and other ag products. And
they just screwed you over, my guy. Argentina. No, I'm sorry, not Argentina. Your president just screwed you over, my guy. He knew that the Argentinian people were going to sell their soybeans to China. He knew. He screwed you over, my guy.
Get some trade going instead of scaring it away with tariffs.
Best case scenario for this year?
That
we never have to talk about tariffs again.
Hey. I'm one of the 92% that did not vote for Trump. So I knew what tariffs meant. Unlike the idiot Klein and the other idiot that was talking in the damn chat, I know what tariffs are. I know tariffs are the tax on the consumer. We knew that. But see, you farmers got doubly screwed. You got doubly screwed.
Free trade is the answer.
China not buying U.S. soybeans just adds to dwindling hopes as Fuller expects to start harvesting his beans around October 1st.
Gilkinson says other than the 2012 drought, now is the worst point he's been in the business.
And then on top of that, the workers are scared to come to work. The illegal immigrants or undocumented or whatever the fuck y'all call them, they scared to come to work. So you can barely get people to work on the farm. That's wild. You just screwed over every human being in your country. But we're first. We're America first. Ain't that what Donald Trump said? We're American first. Isn't that every time we talk to a Republican, he's putting America first? Where?
The prices are driven by supply and demand. We'd like to say it's
first, last. I know why he gave him $40 billion. I know why he gave him $40 billion. It could be Tweedledee or Tweedledum why he gave them $40 billion. Argentina just turned around and sold all of their soybean to China, who is the customer of the United States, screwing the United States. Who gives a fuck why he gave him $40 billion?
all tariffs. Tariffs has a lot to do with it.
Let's talk about those soybean farmers. For years, China was their biggest customer, their cash crop, their golden goose. Then came Trump and his big, beautiful tariffs. And what did farmers say? Tariffs are great. Trade wars are easy to win. And they overwhelmingly voted for him. Well, congratulations, everyone. You won. Here's your prize, financial ruin. And now these same farmers are speaking out and calling the situation a bloodbath and quite challenging. Oh, it's challenging? You mean the predictable consequences of the policies you championed are challenging? China stopped buying American soybeans because of Trump's idiotic tariffs. They found a new supplier, Argentina. And here's where it goes from tragic to absolutely comedic. Trump just gave Argentina a $20 billion bailout. Let me say that again slowly.
It's 40, baby. It's 40, okay? It's 40, baby.
American taxpayers are subsidizing Argentina to undercut American farmers. We are literally funding our own competition. We're paying Argentina to take American jobs. America first, ladies and gentlemen. America first. To pay for Argentina's competitive advantage against American workers. You cannot make this up. And now these farmers want bailouts. They want socialism, but only the kind that helps them, of course. The same folks who spent decades railing against government handouts and welfare queens now have their hands out faster than you can say cognitive dissonance. Student loan forgiveness, that's socialism. Healthcare, that's socialism. Farm subsidies after voting for the tariffs that destroy your own industry, that's necessary support for hardworking Americans. We warned them, economists warned them, everyone with a functioning understanding of international trade warned them. But no, they knew better. So here's my position. You voted for this. You own this. These are your consequences. And the rest of us shouldn't have to pay for your expensive economics lesson. Class dismissed.
I might lose some followers for this, but I don't really give a fuck. Trump thinks farmers are fucking stupid. And before you lose your shit, let me explain. In retaliation to a trade war that they fucking started, China and other countries are no longer buying crops from American farmers. So what does Trump do? He comes out and says that he's going to use tariff revenue to bail them out. But who pays for that tariff? Oh, that's right, the American taxpayer, because the companies they buy their products from have now passed that cost of that tariff on to them. The problem isn't that we're bailing out farmers. I believe we need to bail them out. We need to support small farmers so they don't have to sell their land to big ass corporations who will then in turn just own more of our land and more of our food chain supply. The problem is that the American consumer, who are also farmers by the way, cover the cost of that tariff at the checkout aisle and at the parts store. And now the federal government is going to use that money to pay the farmer for the money they lost as a result of a trade war that they fucking started. They are using American consumers and American farmers to solve a problem that they fucking created. And then they're going to stamp their name on it and say, see, we're for the farmer. No, the fuck you ain't. You're just too stupid, or even worse, you think they're too stupid to know that you're the one who created this fucking problem in the first place. Meanwhile, their rich fucking buddies just got even richer because they didn't have to touch that fucking tariff, and we just got fucking poorer.
The older I get, I can't tell the difference between.
Oh, didn't want that music to do, because every time I play somebody damn music, they freaking want to put some shit on it. So this is where we at. Oh yeah, what is it? Acre trading? That's
Farmers become the villains. When did the disconnect happen is what I don't understand.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. Last thing I want is an American farmer to go under because us as Americans didn't want to do anything to support them.
Oh my God, can you guys just stop lying for 2 seconds? Please, just stop lying. Nobody's mad at you because you're a farmer. We all recognize how important farmers are. We all appreciate farmers. We're mad at you because you voted for this and you're playing victim as if you didn't vote for this. And I don't even mean this in a fuck around and find out type of way, because you already found out in his first term. His horrible policies led to him having to bail you out. And you knew this. That's why I know you didn't vote for him because of the farm or because of the economy. You voted for him for different reasons. And let's start being honest. Your community is a huge reason why we have a sociopath in office, why we have an adjudicated rapist in office, why we have someone who tried to overthrow our government in office, why we have a 34-time felon in office, why we have a president who is actively ruining every part of our economy in office. You voted for that, knowing that he was going to do it because he did it to you in the first term, and y'all didn't care because trans people or something. Also, sidebar, I voted for you. For what it's worth, I voted for you, okay? Leftists voted for you. The left voted for you. We vote for a collective. We vote for other people. To sit here and act like, this is America, why are we not rooting for each other? That's what our vote does. That's how we look at elections. That's how we look at candidates. For you to come to us and say, how come the people who want everybody to have health care, who wants everybody to have public education, who wants everybody to have childcare, how come they don't want to be a part of this community that we have over here? How come they're mad at us? When we voted for you, and we voted for the exact solution that you are asking for right now, is absolutely
So there's a video out there that's gone very viral, and it's this guy, and he puts together a good video, and he says, Oklahoma, all the counties went to Trump. They're 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th in quality of life, and 50th in test scores. But Massachusetts, all the counties went to Harris. They are first in education, second in healthcare, first in quality of life, and first in test scores. And he uses this as a reason for why you should vote for Democrats. And I'm not disagreeing with him. But if you're using that logic to reach the Christian nationalists, honey, that isn't going to work. That logic will work with educated people, right? That logic will work with people who want their children to go to college and go off on their own and be, a success somewhere. The people who live in Oklahoma who vote for Trump don't care about any of that. The only reason their kids go to school is because it's a fucking requirement, and they send them. So their kids are either getting watched and it gives mom some free time, or two, so they don't go to jail.
That's fucked up what she just said. Y'all know that, right? That's fucked up what she just said.
They want their daughters married off young, mothering children very quickly, to men who are barely men, but who have a promising career in planting fucking tomatoes or whatever, or corn or soybeans or whatever it is. These people care zilch about education. They care zilch about quality of life because their quality of life is not important. It's that bootstraps mentality, friends. If you want to reach a maggot, the only way that happens is in their pocketbook, their bank account. So when they start seeing their farms that belong to their family for generations get boarded up and padlocked, then they'll start perhaps seeing that they voted the wrong way. And you're
Yeah, but we didn't vote this. We didn't vote this person in. We didn't vote against our own self-interest. Only people who voted for Trump voted for the self-interest. Oh, I'm sorry. I need you MAGA people. I need you to put in the chat what this big beautiful bill did for you. I need that. I need to understand what that big beautiful bill did for you. That's all. I just want to know. Ain't no big deal. And make it coherent and so we can read it out loud. Please explain what they did to you. Hit the like button and the hate button. Hit the like button. You came in the door. Hit the like button. That's ringing the bell. Please and thank you. Hit the like button. Can't nobody deny the content. I ain't even talking. These are the people that are talking. People that are in the industry. People who understand. Please hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. Please and thank you.
Starting to see these farmers come out and stupidly press record and start pointing the.
That's what I keep explaining to the people, Lauren. I keep explaining to them, if you don't make X, Y, and Z, what would you be voting for Donald Trump for? Because he don't do nothing for the common man. It's always for the rich people.
Finger at us damn liberals for not wanting their farms to succeed, and not pointing the finger at the man who took away the grants or the corporate AG who's drooling, salivating at buying up their land, or at Vance, who owns a company that buys up land so they could parcel it off to Russia and China.
Ain't that what I said to y'all earlier? The name of Vance's company is called Acre Trader. Acre Trader. It's a company that operates a platform for accredited investors to buy shares in limited corporations or farmland that own farmland and farmland only. So JD Vance's company is buying up the farmland. Wow.
No, they want to point the fingers at us for going, you get what you vote for. So don't come knocking on my door, friend, if you need a place to sleep. I'll be making up my bed for an immigrant or, well, anyone who isn't a Nazi like you.
Hey, everybody. Well, there it is, folks. Argentina is selling all of their soybeans to China now because of the tariffs that Trump has initiated against other countries. And it's not that Trump has initiated tariffs on soybeans to China or anything like that. It's just China's like, we don't need you. So there it is.
China said, we don't need you American people. We can get our beans from Argentina. Argentina just got an influx of money. So they straight. Everybody's straight except the United States.
$47 billion that would have gone to the 500,000 American soybean farmers are now going to Argentina. Now, American farmers, almost 80% of them voted for.
Oh yeah, seeing as how they're fucked up, we're going to be fucked up. Us consumers are going to be fucked up. So stuff is going to go skyrocket for all of us. They wild. This is a wild scenario. I don't understand how anybody is still supporting this president for the bullshit that he just pulled on y'all.
Trump. So if you have 500,000 soybean farmers, that means 400,000 of them who are now on the verge of going bankrupt voted for Trump. And I saw in another TikTok video, I'm not prepared to talk about it, but this guy was really good. I really should give him a shout out. I will in the notes or something. He came across my feed that there's this company.
Hey, we got to have some retards in the group somewhere, Jim. There are some retards in the group somewhere.
Called Acre Trader. And guess what they specialize in? They specialize in buying up distressed farms. Guess who's a major shareholder in that? JD Vance. So, while America is giving $20 billion to Argentina to prop up their government, American farmers are out of almost $50 billion. Not a single Chinese order has been cut on soybean farms this year. It's absolutely incredible. And Trump is destroying the American farmer. It's just crazy.
This photo of a text between two Trump officials spells out exactly how Trump's $20 billion bailout to Argentina is hurting farmers in red states. Watch.
This photo taken by the Associated Press at the UN last week is amplifying concern. It appears to show a text message to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent from BR, widely considered to be Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins. The message reads, "We bailed out Argentina yesterday, and in return, the Argentines removed their export tariffs on grains, reducing their price, and sold a bunch of soybeans to China at a time when we would normally be selling to China." The message refers to a potential $20 billion aid package from the Trump administration to help stabilize Argentina's economy. But after that aid package was announced, Argentina suspended its soybean export tax and immediately sold shiploads of soybeans to China.
Suspended their tax, which was 25%. They suspended it the minute they got that $40 billion. As soon as they got that $40 billion from this idiot orange thug, our president, they immediately sold the soybeans to China. Jim, we can't save everybody. We can't save everybody. There's zombies in the group. I told you there's zombies in the group. You just happen to be part of the zombie brigade. That's all. You just happen to be part of the zombies. But anyway, they soon as they got done getting that 40 billion or finna get that 40 billion from Trump, they turned around and sold, betrayed the United States and sold to their customers, the United States customers. Wild.
Another blow to U.S. farmers. In the message sent to Bessent, BR says, "This gives China more leverage on us."
So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape.
President Trump has suggested some money raised by tariffs could be used to help struggling farmers.
And Trump's big idea to help out these farmers is to do another bailout. But listen to what this Missouri farmer has to say about that. Watch.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. We put on tariffs, collect money, and then we take that money, which we've collected from American consumers, including farmers who buy imported goods. We take that money and give it to the industry that's been hurt by those very same tariffs. Seems to me that it would make a lot more sense to get rid of the middleman, drop the tariffs, and again, resume normal trade relations.
So let's recap. Trump bails out Argentina with our U.S. tax dollars. Argentina undercuts American farmers. China wins and rural America loses.
It's 40, Black America. It's 40.
Remind me again why they voted for this guy 3 times?
On today's episode of, oh no, I'm getting what I voted for.
Growers say they feel betrayed after the Trump administration gave Argentina a financial lifeline, a $20 billion loan. Argentina then immediately dropped their soy tariffs to China, undercutting U.S. farmers.
And as you just saw in that clip, soybean farmers are upset at Orange Man because he gave $20 billion to the country of Argentina to help them out. Which in my opinion sounds very America first, insert sarcasm. Argentina said, "Don't cry for me and thank you for the $20 billion. Got rid of tariffs for China and sold them soybeans. And let's see what these farmers are doing to try to survive the situation that they voted for.
With prices for crops crashing, farmers are doing everything they can to stay viable, even selling off equipment. Joel's Tractors in Strawberry Point, Iowa saw a 30% jump in farm machinery up for auction this year.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, that is actually one way to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And what doesn't help the farmer situation is that when they do need machinery, those items are tariffed heavily because of the steel tariffs. The next person that I'm going to show you actually worked for John Deere, the tractor machinery company, in which they're estimating that steel tariffs are going to cost their company $600 million, in which it resulted in layoffs for them.
It's like a kick to the gut, right? When you're getting laid off after you've given 20 plus years to the company.
When you think about these tariffs and the ripple effects that they've had, do you think it's worth it?
You know, you hope that possibly in the long term, they would be helpful. Currently here in the short term, no, it's really killing us.
Wait a minute, wasn't it you guys that were chanting the slogan, short-term pain for long-term gains? Because it sounds like that short-term pain is not fun for you guys as well. And if you've enjoyed this episode of FAF,
yeah, but they were saying, let's do what we gotta do. Let's do what we gotta do to screw over the common man. Wasn't that what they were trying to do? Screw over the regular? Let me give Trump all this money. Let's vote for this man who didn't know how to run the government the last time, ran us into the ground the last time. Definitely did that, and ran the farmers into the ground the last time. Let's go on ahead and give him another shot. Let's give him another shot to screw us over. And we done talked about tariffs and taxes and the consumer and export. We done talked about it till we blew in the face. If you don't know that we are the ones who, when our companies in the United States buy product, if you don't know by now that we as the consumers pay for that tax, then you just dumb. You just dumb for no reason.
I want them to get a single penny of my tax dollars for a bailout. I voted to protect your farm and you voted to destroy it. Did you forget you needed a bailout last time the orange dingleberry was president? Well, I didn't. It's not my job to save you from your own stupidity. Time to pull yourselves up by the bootstraps. Fucking dumbasses.
What's happening right now is devastation. And that's not too strong of a word on some farms. Now, you've had land value increase over time, and that means they can collateralize operating loans. And so some of them can get loans, operating loans to plant for next year, but some of them will be challenged and they will move into a risk of bankruptcy. And it's not just what's happening on the farm, that means what's happening in their communities, right? What's happening at the hardware store, what's happening at the school, et cetera. And I think it's important that we all understand rural America, 19% of the population, by the way, they comprise 44% of the military. Service is deeply embedded in these communities. And when you don't have income, when you don't have revenue, rural hospitals have shut down, rural banks have shut down. 70% of the counties in America that index as food insecure are in rural America, housing crisis, et cetera. And so when I'm out in the country, and I'm there quite frequently with farmers or in these communities, it's present that you have these conversations and you try to understand what's going on with their families. 90% of farms are still family owned. These are families, many of whom could be considered hobby farmers because they have to work off the farm, driving a truck, teaching school, in order to feed their own families.
That's fucked up. Here's my thing, and I don't really even mind if we did bailouts for people. I don't even mind that kind of shit if we had to bail out the farmers. I wouldn't mind that. But the point is that we got to bail them out twice for the bullshit that we ran into with this president. We got to bail them out. We got to bail the rich people out. We got to bail everybody out. We never get to bail out middle-class people. We never get to bail out middle-class people that may be losing their homes. Instead of saying, oh, you're going to lose your home, you're behind on these many payments, why can't you make the payments for those people if they losing their home? Why can't you do that for the American people? But we always, as Americans, we got to bail out everybody. We got to give money to Israel. We got to give money to farmers. We got to give money to Argentina. We got to give money to all these places, but we can't spend none of that money at home. That's the problem that I have. It's not a matter of giving the money. It's a matter of you not taking none of that money that we're putting in the system and helping us. Giving money to Ukraine, yes. If you're going to give money to everybody else, then you need to give money to the middle class, us working poor. You need to figure out how the working poor can get some kind of relief. Whether that means putting a moratorium on raising prices on mortgage and rent, or putting $1,000 worth of food stamps in every home that needs it, or however you need to do it. But you need to help the middle class before you start helping the rest of these people. Now we're done. We're done talking about bailing other people out. That's what the No King rally is about. We're done helping everybody else, and none of us regular people are getting any help.
About a post I did where I said I think it's hilarious watching these farmers cry over losing their family farms after voting for Trump. And I guess hilarious is the wrong word. It's more cathartic to see MAGA voters have to suffer through Trump's policies like the rest of us. Because, I mean, come on. They had to get bailed out Trump's first term. They should have learned then. He did a tariff war with China, and there was a farmer bailout. Anyone remember that? You know? And then they voted for him again in 2020, and they voted for him again in 2024, and here we are. A bunch of them are losing their farms. But guess what? They're not losing their farms. Trump is going to do another farmer bailout. He's going to spend between $10 and $50 billion to bail these farmers out. And, like, what does that even mean? They're still going to have to pay a lot for all their equipment because of the tariff wars. And because of the tariff wars, now China is buying all their soybeans from Argentina. Are they going to start growing different crops? How's he going to find people to buy these crops that want to pay the tariffs for it? Or is he just going to bail them out every single year? You know, when I say it's hilarious...
That's what I'm saying. Is he going to bail them out every single year? Is that what's going to happen? Because now you ain't able to give away the soybeans that y'all was supposed to be giving to China. China is buying them from Argentina. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? You gonna keep getting bailed out? They're gonna keep bailing them out. The No Kings rally was yesterday, Black America. All No King yesterday was yesterday. Okay. Miguel, you are not helping. You are not productive in any way, shape, or form if you keep saying the bullshit like this. Why y'all so motherfucking invested in gay people? I don't understand. You want to be gay? Every time I turn around, somebody talking about some gay shit. Ain't nobody said nothing about no gay shit. Why the hell you talking about gay shit? If you gay, just come on out and say you gay. But stop talking about gay shit when we ain't talking about gay shit. Man, some of y'all just hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the notification button. Do all of those good things when you come over here and get content. Content is what we're doing. Every day we do something specific about what's in the news. We just inform. We don't have anything to do with what it is. This is what it is. All of these are facts. None of this is nothing I made up. All of this information is fact. Please hit the like and the share button. Please hit the like and the share button. The share button, the like button is great. Subscribe to the channel for new content every day. Normally it's at 10 o'clock, but today I'm doing it in between the damn games because I don't care about no football game. Please and thank you. I said please and thank you 3, 4, 5 different times.
What I mean is, I want these people to suffer for voting for Trump. So they learn that the Republican Party doesn't care about anyone that's not a billionaire. They don't. All they care about is tax cuts for the rich. I mean, look at this government shutdown. They want to cut off.
That is the only thing that a Republican or a MAGA cannot dispute. That's one of the only talking points that they cannot dispute. They only care about the rich. Because I have asked on several shows, darn near every show that I have, I want somebody that makes between 30 and 150K. Put it in the chat what this big, beautiful bill has done for you. I've asked them to do it. I've asked them to do it every show that I've had since the big, beautiful bill. And not now one of them can tell me what he done did for somebody between those income levels. Not now one. And that damn tax on tips and bullshit like that don't mean jack shit because food and prices are going up every day. That means you ain't getting no fucking money. You're going to be paying money. So the tax and tips bullshit don't count. Put it in the chat, please, and thank you, what the big, beautiful bill and what the Republicans do for you. Please put it in the chat because I would love to have a dispute with somebody. Dispute with you or debate with you as to what it is. Please hit the like button and the share button to subscribe to the channel. If you want more content like this, please and thank you. Please and thank you. I said it 3 times.
Healthcare to millions of Americans to give billionaires a tax cut they don't even need. Trump is not your friend unless you're a billionaire. Period.
I want to talk about this article really quick because it's all starting to make so much sense right now. This author and journalist was having lunch with friends. There was a white guy and he's married to a black lady and they were talking politics. And he says that farmers weren't worried about Trump deporting migrants because, wait for it, they thought because unemployment was so high for black people that these black people would run back to the fields and do the jobs that the migrants were doing when they got deported. So she asked, like, where'd you get that information from? White farmer TikTok or MAGA Facebook memes. Like, where'd you get this information from? And her and the wife basically started giving him information, letting him know unemployment is only 6.8% for African Americans, and 93% of Black people are currently working. Got so caught up in what they were hearing at Fox News and other places, thinking black jobs, immigrants are taking black jobs, that they just assumed they'd get rid of the immigrants and Black people would take the immigrants' jobs. Sir, our ancestors did not march, die, and fight for civil rights so we could go back to the fields? Like, what? But shout out to the Latino immigrant population that have mastered that labor with skill and stamina. This country doesn't even appreciate it enough. Oh, and by the way, when they do try to hire Americans, Black or white, to do those jobs, most of them don't even last half a day. They just ghost them without even picking up their paychecks. True story. So y'all, tell me, do you really believe that they thought Black people were planning to replace immigrants in that labor force if they got deported? Because I need to know who was smoking that logic. What do you think?
So Donald Trump has bankrupted our farms and then let Argentina take over the soybean market. And then, after Argentina has screwed over our farmers, gave Argentina $20 billion. All in a world where he's cutting aid to literally every other nation except for Argentina. What the hell is going on?
As a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or $14 billion worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board. So that makes the Argentinian soybeans about $12.42 a bushel. I think that's the real figure they gave. So all my premium, they all went to Argentina.
Yes, those are MAGA farmers feeling so frustrated by Trump. In less than a year, Donald Trump has destroyed the soybean industry due to his tariffs and trade wars with China. And after bailing out Argentina $20 billion, Argentina cut their export taxes to China and sold millions of soybeans to China, a market that was once dominated by the American farmers, leaving American farmers with unsold soybeans, falling prices, and now farmers are asking, what happened to America first?
On September 27th, 2024, last year, I posted a video about tariffs, the economy, and farmers. Let's take a look and see how well it held up, and then examine where we are today. In 2018, Donald Trump placed a 25% tariff on $34 billion worth of Chinese goods. China retaliated with tariffs on American agriculture. What happened next? Did the farmers become rich because exports to China increased? Or did they need to be bailed out to the tune of over 28 billion taxpayer dollars? Hint, it was the latter. Okay, obviously I'm a nobody and my little video wasn't going to make any difference in the election. What we needed was something like, I don't know, 23 Nobel Prize winning economists saying, oh my God, don't vote for the worst candidate possible. Oh, wait, that happened. Now everyone's feed is full of farmers saying, oh my God, I'm losing everything. I need a bailout. Why is everyone so angry at me for asking for help? Why is everyone angry? It's not just that everyone saw this coming. It literally just happened 7 years ago. You willingly and joyfully fucked a crack whore without a condom. Now you have gonorrhea and you want us to pay for your antibiotics, which we've done 1,000 times before and never once complained about farm subsidies or bailouts. We all understand farmers are important, but we also know that people are supposed to learn from their mistakes, not turn them into a personality trait.
These dumbass farmers really quick, because yeah, the majority of them voted for this dumbass in the White House. Last year, China bought 985 million bushels of soybeans. Through May, about 218 million. Nothing's been shipped to them since. Why? Well, I don't know, Bob. I just don't understand. He said he was so smart. He said no tariffs and no tax on tips because I'm a dumbass and I got concepts of a brain. Oh, yeah, Bob. What he said was really good. You racist fucks just didn't want the black lady. Because now what's happened is, because of our tariffs, this brilliant guy with 6 bankruptcies and 3 failed marriages and 2 failed presidencies, they're buying everything from Argentina. So now what do they want? So they voted for this. Now they're not selling their product. They got nowhere to sell it. Now they want us to bail them out with about $14 billion. And the dumbass of the White House? Well, many people told me, lots of people told me, yeah, they were just looking around and they were under a Post-it note and they go, oh, look, here's a couple $1 billion from the tariffs. It was unbelievable, Mr. President. I was just walking around, taking a walk, and I just found it on a Post-it note. I didn't know where to find it. These dumbasses voted for this because it's like flies attracted to dog shit. They're so stupid. They just don't care. And you don't care. Don't tell me that you're a good person, but you voted for the guy that caused an insurrection and sat on his fat ass for 3 hours.
All right. Now, let's answer the question. 40 billion. There's a question about the 40 billion, right? Okay. Initially, the U.S. financial aid package to Argentina includes a $20 billion initial currency swap, with the Trump administration actively working to raise an additional $20 billion from private banks and investors and sovereign wealth funds, whatever that is, potentially doubling the total support to 40 billion. So they're looking to give them, they gave them 20 billion already. So they're looking to give them another 20 billion. The 20 billion, the initial U.S. Treasury initially authorized 20 billion currency swap agreement with Argentina's currency bank. This is essentially a credit line to help stabilize Argentina's economy and currency. The potential second 20 billion, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the administration is seeking another 20 billion to help Argentina cover their debts and costs. This additional funding would come from private sector banks, not U.S. taxpayers, according to Bennett. But you know they lied to you already. So the initial 20 billion has already sparked controversy, particularly among the U.S. farmers, that are facing the economic hardships due to the U.S.-China trade war. But either way it go, Argentina still screwed over us by selling their product to China. They took their 25% tax off of their stuff, and then they sold their soybeans to China, knowing full well we as Americans were supposed to be selling our soybeans to China. They turned around and sold their soybeans to China. So you got screwed over, okay? Here's another article. China has booked at least 10 and possibly up to 15 cargoes of Argentinian soybeans for November arrival after Buenos Aires temporarily suspended its grain export tax, which was 25%. And they moved to immediately undercut the United States competitiveness during America's prime export window. They immediately went to screw over to the American farmers. Immediately. Y'all hit the like button and the share button, subscribe button. Please and thank you. We need the likes. We need the engagement. Please and thank you. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's right there. Just hit the like button. It don't cost you a dime. It don't cost you a leg. It don't cost you nothing. But it does cost me engagement. Please and thank you. Hit the like button. So, traders told Reuters in an exclusive report that the deals were done within hours of the policy, Argentina immediately went and sold their product, dropped that 25% tariff tax against their grain policy, their export tax, and then sold their stuff to China. They were looking out for their interests. They wasn't looking out for America. America just giving them $40 billion. They don't give a fuck about helping America. They knew America had soybean in their country, and they knew America was the primary importer of soybeans to China. They knew that. But Argentinian did it anyway. They did it anyway. So now we screwed over. The timing sucks. Every time China turns to South America instead of United States, soybean farmers and our farms lose out. And they just lost out big time. Okay? Just lost out big time. Okay? The market analysis said the message is plain. China is trying to avoid the United States doing business with the United States during the export window opportunity, which is in November. Okay? Which means we're going to continue to get screwed over. Usually, Argentina leaves a 25-26% tax on soybeans. But since the government suspended it, they suspended it this month until declared exports reached 70 billion. They wanted to get their bottom line fed. So their temporary tax encouraged China to take Argentinian soybeans, and that's what they did. That's fucked up. Now we in the hole. Now the farmers are in the hole. Now the farmers are screwed up. So this is where we at with the taxes. Let me hold on. Uno momento. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Ooh, did I mess up? Oh.
People that feed us, that provide our food, and we need them. And it's horrifying to see what they're trying to do to them.
Farmers, I love farmers. I won 80%, 85% of the farmers, and I love them. And I'm never going to do anything to hurt our farmers.
But you did. You did it twice. You did it. When was this? Was this in 2018 or was it in 2024? Because you screwed over them first. You screwed over them before the first time in 2018, 2019. What made people think he wasn't going to screw over the farmers this time? I don't understand. Hey, did anybody put in the chat what the big beautiful bill did for them? Did anybody, if you make between 30,000 and 150,000, did you put in the chat what the big beautiful bill, what did he do for you guys? I want to know. Was it worth it? Was it worth it to screw over the rest of your Americans? I just want to know. Was it worth it to screw over the rest of the Americans? Did you get any benefit from voting for this president for the big beautiful bill that he was promising you guys? Did you get any kind of benefit? Or did you just vote for him so he could screw over everybody else that wasn't you? I just want to know. Was it just to fuck over everybody else? Or did you get any kind of benefit that helped the country? I just want to know. Please put it in chat. Hit the like and the share and the subscribe button, please and thank you. Please and thank you. I said it 3 times. Please and thank you.
We've got a real disaster with this tariff deal.
The outlook is so bleak financially.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now.
Right now, it's predicted soybean farmers can lose $200 or more per acre on this crop. A farmer like myself, we have 1,200 acres of soybeans. That's $240,000 of loss.
It's going to be tough to get some of that business back that we're losing. Retaliatory tariffs has caused us to be less competitive in the global marketplace.
The way things are, there won't be a farmer left in 5 years if things don't change because our expenses are so high. We would a lot rather have free markets than a supporter.
Hey, y'all got Donald Trump for another 3 years, which means a lot of y'all gonna go under during that time. A lot of y'all gonna go under, specifically you soybean people. You really gonna go under with that because that's where your bread and butter is, right? So If that's where your bread and butter is, you're going to go under. Because you got Donald Trump for the next 3 years. Unless we do something about it come next November. If we don't do something about getting this president out of office next November, we're going to have a problem with this country that's going to be permanent, where we won't be able to turn it around.
President Donald Trump voted for him in this election and the last and the one prior to that. However, President Trump is about to allow JBS, the world's most corrupt beef organization, to become publicly traded in America. President Donald Trump will be the president that allows for the complete destruction of the small, independent family farms and cattle ranches if he allows this to go through.
He's about to screw over the cattle ranchers. He's about to screw over the cattle ranchers. This is our problem. This is the threat to America right here. He's about to allow them to fuck over the cattle ranchers now. Thank you, $5 from Carl. $5 from Carl. Thank you very much. Trump is using the tariff deficit funds for bailouts, which is hurting the market. The former bankruptcy king turned president is making us a laughingstock. Of course he is. Of course he is. Of course he is. But that's why it's very important for us to vote the Republicans out come next November, because we cannot afford for him to continue to be president, unfortunately.
The SEC has already approved it. Now we're just waiting a mere few days for them to allow it on the stock exchange. And what's concerning is we haven't heard a word from the Secretary of Agriculture about this. We haven't heard any of the large cattle organizations that represent cattlemen speak out about this. They claim to represent cattlemen. The truth is they only represent the big guys. They're bought and paid for by...
Yeah, they only represent the big guys. That is the truth. This is why I'm still waiting for people in the chat to put what Trump did for the fellow man who makes $30,000 to $100,000 a year. I'm still waiting for them to put it in the chat. What has he done for you? You voted so he could screw over the rest of us. So we want to know what he did for you.
The same organizations, JBS, Cargill, Tyson, National Beef, all the collusion that's happening. Go do a very simple search.
And that's the small-mindedness of you, Debbie. I hope you go through bankruptcy. I hope you lose your job. I hope all of those things. Because somebody like you don't deserve to have a job because you function like you're 2 years old. We all want welfare. You got the brain of a 2-year-old. I hope you lose your job and your car. That's how dumb you are.
And you'll see the millions and millions and tens upon millions of dollars that these companies have been ordered to pay for collusion and price fixing, which has cost us our family farms and ranches. And what that costs us as the people who aren't family farms and ranches is a stable food system. As much as I'm a supporter of many of the other things that Trump is doing, anything else in the world that we're working to accomplish and achieve doesn't matter when you have famine and you starve to death. So, Mr. President, I love you. I appreciate you. It is our job as citizens to hold you accountable. And whoever you've got in your circle, they ain't speaking truth because you're about to put us in a whole world of hurt. Folks, I need you to share this. This is urgent.
No. These people who voted for him don't believe you. They saying you lying, farmer man. They're saying you're lying. They're saying you're lying. What you're talking about, you're lying. All of this is a lie. It's a delusion. It's an illusion. They think what you're saying is an illusion. Okay?
We've only got a mere few days, and we need millions of people to put pressure to stop this, or it's going to be it'll be a much harder fight to come back from. Thanks, everybody. Shake the hand.
President Trump is giving a $20 billion bailout to Argentina. There's at least 3 reasons this is kind of a staggering piece of news, and the third is the toughest to swallow. First, because a $20 billion bailout of another country is the opposite of President Trump's America First philosophy. Second, because President Trump's Treasury Secretary has said openly that the bailout is because Argentina's president, who is an ally of President Trump's, needs a, quote, bridge to the election. His economy is falling apart and his party was just crushed in local elections, so the president's own re-election prospects are in trouble. So President Trump is openly giving Argentina $20 billion of our tax dollars to help his friend win re-election. And somehow that's not even the most startling part of this. The third reason this is staggering is because President Trump's trade war has resulted in China no longer purchasing American soybeans. Literally. China hasn't purchased a single soybean from the U.S. in the last 2 months and has not placed a single order for U.S. soybeans for the coming peak harvest season. Of the $24.5 billion worth of soybeans that the U.S. farmers exported last year, China bought more than half of them, $12.5 billion worth. This is killing U.S. farms, and farmers are feeling panicked and betrayed.
Mr. Trump, he looked at me, sir, and he said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of love.
I just would like to see somebody help us get our markets back. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do.
But guess who is selling soybeans to China? Argentina. The three biggest soybean producers in the world are the US, Brazil, and Argentina. And last week, Argentina's president, President Trump's ally, slashed its export tax on soybeans to zero. He's taking advantage of China shutting out American soybeans and making it easier for Argentinian farmers to sell their soybeans to China while
Of course he's going to help his people. Of course he's going to help his people. He don't give a fuck about helping our people. This is not what we call America first, y'all. This is not what we call America first, but that's okay. I still want to know what he did for y'all in the chat. I ain't seen one person say it yet.
American farmers are getting screwed. It is indisputable. President Trump is propping up a guy who is helping crush American soybean farmers.
Illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that work.
They just, Argentina, I can't say that name for nothing. Argentina just bought damn near all of, China just bought all of Argentina's soybeans. They just screwed over all the American farmers. And we just gave them $40 billion, not $20 billion, but initially another $20 billion, almost $40 billion to let them do it.
Workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third generation.
Hey, one more thing about that farm thing. Those farmers complaining about how the Trump's trade war is hurting farms. And not just China, even though China
Because all of these videos are it doesn't matter whether it's 2015 or 2025. He did the same thing back then that he did now. That's why. It don't matter. Because it's the same thing over again.
longer buys U.S. beef. That's gone to Brazil. They no longer.
Yes, he screwed him over in 2015. He wasn't even president then. Shut your mouth.
They buy U.S. soybeans. They don't buy a bunch of other agricultural products from us because they can source them elsewhere. And these farmers are all over these apps whining and crying that they didn't think it would hurt them. And please, Mr. Trump, I voted for you 3 times and all this kind of bootlicking kind of BS. The other thing about that is, like I said in my other video, excuse me, there's a particular relationship black people and farms in this country, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing is, do you remember during the Biden-Harris administration, their administration worked out a settlement with black farmers to pay them back pay for excluding them from bailout money that they were entitled to. The money only went to white farmers, and so black farmers, that's the way it is in this country, had to sue to get their fair share. And after years of court wrangling in the courts and everything, it was finally settled and black farmers were going to get their due. Sorry, my allergies. And you know why they didn't get their due?
Because they know Chrissy did not do the same thing. Obama didn't put no tariffs in place that screwed directly over the farmer. Stop lying. And you in 2015, Trump didn't even become president until 2017. Stop lying. Okay? They don't do anything but deflect, Rainbow, because they can't justify this thug's thievery. They can't justify thugs' thievery. They just can't. Obama didn't fuck over the farmers, dummy.
Because white farmers sued to block the government settlement that they had made with black farmers. And white farmers sued saying that the white farmers, were being discriminated against for not getting some of the black settlement money. The black settlement money was because only white farmers got some of the initial bailout money, not black farmers. That's how twisted it is. So to the white farmers online whining about loss of business, threats to having their farms shut down and shut off, I say, fare thee well, good sirs. Fare thee well. You got what you got. You get what you get. You don't pitch a fit. You voted for Donald Trump, and you know what? He is working you over because the big conglomerates, some I hear are owned, I've read are owned by J.D. Vance or his companies, are about to buy up your land for pennies on the dollar. And you're going to be one picking those blueberries for $11 an hour, 7 days a week, for 10 hours a day. Literally, how do you like them apples?
Well. What a shocker. To catch you up, John Deere, literally an archetype and a symbol of the American agriculture and farming industry, they just announced that they are going to do mass layoffs because they just reported a $300 million quarterly loss because of the tariffs. But I thought that the countries who were sending us the products paid for the tariffs. Now, if this is shocking news to you, you might be sitting there being like, wait, I don't understand, because John Deere is an American company, and that means that they have to make all of their products in the United States, right? First off, John Deere actually produces a lot of their product in Mexico. Now, they do make some products in the United States, which is where they are doing a lot of their layoffs, but what they don't have is they don't have the materials, the parts, the machinery. They have to import all of that, because you see made in America, and what that actually means is assembled in America. And if you don't believe me, literally the director of investor relations came out and said, because of rising costs of steel and aluminum tariffs coming from Europe and India, we have to raise our prices. And then on the other end, which is the buyer of their product, which is mostly farmers, they are nervous about the tariffs, so they've stopped buying new equipment. But you guys think that consumer confidence is so high and optimistic. It's almost like we could have predicted that this was going to happen. It's almost like some of us last year and earlier this year and 2 weeks ago and 5 minutes ago knew how tariffs worked. We tried to explain it to you, and you refused to actually do research yourself. But no. You decided to trust a Truth Social post from President He's in the Files, why won't he release them? Where he went on and on about the fact that the other countries pay the tariffs. The other countries don't pay the tariffs. And you might be watching this being like, wow, you're normally very calm. You seem very excited about this. Because this, out of all of the things that have been happening in this country, this is the simplest to understand, and it is the hardest to cram into 78 million American voters. Good job. This is the first of what is sure to be hundreds of companies doing this, impacting directly the companies that are in the states where you voted for this.
Yeah, here's the thing, Ozzy Crosby. You might find a video that belongs in 2015, but what difference does it make? You tell me what difference does it make? I want to know the difference. You're still getting screwed over. You're getting screwed over from 2017. You're getting screwed over from 2024. What difference does it make? Just suppose you're right. Just suppose we have a video on TikTok that I found a video on TikTok from 2014, 15, which is like 10 years ago. Just for shits and giggles, I found a video from 2015. What the fuck difference does it make, seeing as how they got screwed over in 2017 and 2024? And how relevant is that damn video right now? Not relevant at all. Not relevant at all. Makes no fucking sense. Nobody's going back to pick up a video that's relevant for everything that's happening right now. This is wild. They just wild. And stop playing the what ism game. Okay? Who is that? Who put in the chat? Why us Democrats? Us Democrats have abortions. I think you got a screw loose, my friend, my guy. I think you have a screw loose. You and Ozzy, both of y'all. I think you got a screw. Yeah, oh, that's Klein. I think you got a screw loose. That's literally not what we're talking about. Democrats have abortion. That's why I can't trust you Republicans in office, because y'all don't know how to govern unless y'all emotionally govern. You're in your feelings. Oh, them Democrats like to have abortions. Them Democrats like those gay people. Y'all ruled by your emotions. Grow the fuck up. We can't rule by your emotions, by what you think is moral and what ain't moral. That's the problem now.
Until the federal government steps in to save them, farmers have no one to turn to but God.
Farmers, in my opinion, dear Lord, and it's only my opinion, are closer to thee than anyone else on this earth, because we deal.
Ozzy, you're dumb. If you didn't get what I said, you're dumb. Just shut up. Don't talk to me about no video from 2015. Obama didn't screw over the farmers. Your precious orange thug did. Shut up.
With your earth every day, dear Lord, we're hurting, dear Lord. We can't help what's happened to us.
Said it before, but it's worth saying louder this time. Trump's most loyal supporters, America's farmers, are getting stabbed in the back in broad daylight. And the latest insult isn't just a paper cut, it's a gut punch. While U.S. farmers are drowning in mountains of unsold soybeans, Trump is opening the floodgates for Argentina to dump cheap exports into the very markets American growers just lost. Call it poetic justice. Call it FAFO. But the betrayal couldn't be clearer.
Argentina and Brazil, down in South America, they're our biggest competitor in soybeans and corn. Sometimes they race.
So now they got the drop on y'all. President Trump helped them get the drop on you guys. That's the real truth right there. The president helped them get the drop on you because you're the biggest competitor. So now China went to your biggest competitor. Now you guys are screwed.
2 or 3 crops of corn. They always raise a big soybean crop. But Argentina is a huge competitor for the United States. We just sent them $20 billion. All the while, they're sending tax-free China 84 million bushels of soybeans. That's 30 cargo ships worth in 2 days' time.
We are being forced.
2 days' time, for real, for real. They made sure that they got them soybeans over there to China because they not having this bullshit that this president is putting down. President called himself trying to put tariffs on China. China ain't trying to hear it. They just gonna go to another country and we just gonna be screwed.
Bail out another country's farmers at the expense of our own.
That don't make much sense. That's kind of like wiping before you poop. Why would you help out your biggest competition and hurt yourself with your biggest customer?
I have been an Arkansas soybean farmer my entire life until this year when a deepening farm crisis forced my family to close a 150-year-old operation, and we weren't alone. And now this is coming for even more of us.
It's going to be tough to get some of that business back that we're losing. Retaliatory tariffs has caused us to be less competitive in the global marketplace.
I thought you guys didn't want the United States to give money to Ukraine because that's not our war. You guys were okay with the U.S. giving money to Israel so that they can commit it. But what's going on now? Do we have to bail out Argentina, a country that has absolutely nothing to do with us? Is Donald Trump putting America first when he's going to give up to $20 billion to Argentina? Donald Trump is defunding programs that Americans need, but there is money to send to Argentina?
Right. That's the way I look at it. You're making us less weak, us less stable by doing the things you're doing, but you're giving money away. That's the problem that I have. Giving the money away. Now, you're right, Mike. China is going and finding their own people. They're going and finding their own trade deals. They don't have to deal with America. You're going to look up and Trump is going to screw over the wrong people, and then we really going to be in trouble. We almost in trouble now. Well, we are in trouble. It's just that people ain't felt it yet.
Get that right? Is that America first? I'm a little confused.
Soybeans may not sound glamorous, but they're the beating heart of U.S. agriculture. Nearly $25 billion in exports last year, with China alone buying over half, about $12.6 billion. That cash flow is what keeps the heartland alive, from Illinois silos to Iowa fields to Nebraska's small towns. And then came Trump's trade war tantrums. Overnight, America's largest customer, China, didn't just cut back, didn't just slow down.
Nope.
They slammed the door shut.
Well, folks, there's a story.
All these deals that Trump keeps saying he's making. He keeps saying he's making all these deals. What he did was he screwed over the one deal that he wasn't supposed to screw over. He screwed over the Chinese. And now the Chinese are taking their bills elsewhere.
Storm brewing in soybeans. China just bought a big batch from Argentina, not from the USA. And let me tell you, tariffs we slapped on years ago and during this new administration are the reason why. Here's what happened, according to Reuters. Argentina suspended export taxes, making their soybeans cheaper on the international market. And China swooped in and booked at least 10 cargoes, each around 65,000 tons. Meanwhile, not a single cargo from the brand new American harvest. We got cut out of the deal completely. Now, this isn't just about Argentina dropping taxes. This story starts years ago and continues through this new Trump administration with the U.S.-China trade war. When America slapped tariffs on Chinese goods, Beijing hit back with retaliatory tariffs on U.S. soybeans. This made our beans more expensive for Chinese buyers.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. Once China got burned, they learned not to rely so heavily on American soy.
Right.
They started building long-term supply from South America.
Right.
Brazil first, and now Argentina.
Right.
So every time tariffs went up, U.S. farmers paid the price, not the folks in Washington, D.C. We lost trust and we lost market share. So now, with Argentina's beans cheaper, China doesn't even look at us. That means less demand for American soybeans. Less demand means lower prices. For farmers already fighting high fuel and fertilizer costs, this isn't just a headache. It's the difference between profit and loss. And this isn't a one-off. If China keeps buying from Argentina, it cements a pattern. America gets sidelined while South America gets stronger. And markets don't forgive lost trust. Once a buyer moves on, they don't always come back. That's the real danger of these tariffs wars. You win the headline fight, but you lose the customer forever.
Right.
Tariffs sound tough in D.C., but out here where we raise these crops, they land like a hammer. Farmers didn't pick the trade fight with China, but they've been paying for it every harvest. We produce the best beans in the world, but when tariffs make our crop more expensive, China shops elsewhere. And now, Argentina, with this tax break, slips right in. So what's the fix? We need smarter trade deals, not headline tariff wars. We need long-term partnerships with buyers, not quick political stunts. And we need to keep American farmers competitive by making sure we're not priced out with our own policies. Folks, these tariffs were sold as tough talk, but in the end, they opened the door for Argentina and Brazil to take our markets. And that's bad news for every American. If you care about keeping American farms alive, if you care about protecting the U.S. food supply and keeping food inexpensive for Americans, share this video with your neighbors and tell them these trade wars are costing us. And it's not just the farmers in rural America that are paying the price. Pretty soon, it's going to be all of us.
Hey, I said that. I said that same thing. You're going to get screwed over. When the farmers get screwed over, we're going to get screwed over. That's the whole point. We just in it to win it. See, I said it before the election. I said, watch these folks vote for the Republican, vote for Donald Trump, and they gonna pull us down this dirty ass rabbit hole where we all gonna be going down it, and ain't nobody gonna be able to get out of it unless we do something drastic. Now we here.
Meanwhile, American farmers stare at silos bursting with unsold beans and prices that have collapsed to 5-year lows. If Trump were trying to bankrupt Illinois farmers on purpose, what would he be doing differently? And here's where the FAFO energy really kicks in. These are the same farmers who cheered when Trump promised to deport immigrant workers and slap tariffs on foreign goods. Now, their fields are empty of labor, their markets are gone, and their bills are piling up. It's like watching someone set their own barn on fire because the arsonist told them it would keep them warm.
Right.
Spoiler, it didn't. The fallout isn't abstract. American Soybean Association President Caleb Ragland called the situation overwhelming. Harvest is underway, prices are falling, and instead of seeing headlines about trade deals, farmers are reading about Trump pumping billions into Argentina while their own product rots.
Hey, MAGA. You remember all that winning you were supposed to do under Donald Trump? And now with all the tariffs and his crappy economic policies, you guys are losing your health care, losing your Social Security, losing your benefits, losing your jobs. Well, now you're losing your farms. And the people in Arkansas can tell you, they can't even break even, and most of them are going out of business. They're not being farmers anymore. But instead of a bailout, Trump is like, oh, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Because he and J.D. Vance actually have stock in companies that are buying up that lost farmland when farmers go broke. But you know how you guys always love to claim that Trump loves the farmers and he loves you guys so much, even though in public at rallies he has literally stated to your face that he doesn't care about you? Well, let me tell you something. The biggest crop that we export is soybeans. And now that China's not really buying our soybeans anymore because Trump jacked up tariffs on them, China's now buying them from Argentina, who has since dropped their tariffs on them. So now farmers across the country are being left holding the bag of soybeans that are practically worthless. This is going to have another massive effect on our GDP, by the way. And as all these farmers continue to go bankrupt because of these tariffs that you guys think are going to make you all millionaires, China just found a way to go around us and give us the middle finger. And apparently MAGA stands for Make Argentina Great Again. Meanwhile, our economy's going...
You're an idiot, Roger. You're too dumb. You lick fucking charcoal for food. Only you in chat. You. I swear to God, some of y'all eat grass. You can look at all the goddamn videos you want to. It still means these people are getting screwed over by the Trump presidency. You need to come out the hole. You're an idiot, and you need to start reading.
Down the toilet. And you guys have a massive problem with conservatives attacking and shooting your own conservatives. Let me know when you guys are done with the charade and the whole cult because this is really fucking embarrassing.
You need to be talking to people like Roger, because he's an idiot.
Donald Trump was quoted saying it is an honor for him to help make Argentina great again. Let's talk about a few things that $20 billion could do for United States citizens. It could cover healthcare for 3.3 million American families. It could erase medical debt for over 20 million Americans. It could fund mental health and addiction clinics all across the United States for over a decade. It could build over 100,000 affordable housing units. It could provide emergency shelter for over a year for every single homeless American. It could fund community college for over 2.5 million students. It could
do all of those things. But it's the poor people who keep voting against their own interest. I still have not gotten what the big beautiful bill did for poor people, for people between 30,000 and 150,000. I still have not gotten one answer from these Republicans, from these maggots. I still ain't got one answer as to what this big beautiful bill did for you. Put it in the chat, please, because we need to know why you fucked over everybody else. We need to know why you fucked over the rest of us. for the big beautiful bill that don't give you jack shit. Just dumb.
Cancel all federal loan student debt. It could increase the salary of every single teacher in the United States of America by $5,000 a year. It could provide $1,000 extra in grocery benefits for every single low-income family in the United States of America.
Right.
It could fund health care and housing for over 1 million veterans. Or it could provide free daycare for 1.5 million families. So much for America First.
Even Republican Senator Chuck Grassley couldn't spin it, blasting the move with a blunt question. Why would USA help bail out Argentina while they take American soybean producers' biggest market? When Chuck Grassley, who once defended tweeting from a flip phone, is dragging Trump's trade policy, you know something's broken. And the cruelty here isn't just economic, it's cultural. For decades, soybean farmers were told they were America's backbone, the salt of the earth, the true patriots. Trump sold them that myth, then ripped it up the second it suited him.
Trump's illegal tariffs have single-handedly destroyed the U.S. soybean market. As of yesterday, the price of soybeans is about $9.34 here in Iowa. The cost of production is anywhere from $11 to $11.50. So per bushel of soybeans, it's about a $2 loss. And when you add the fact that it's about 50 bushels in an acre of soybeans here, you can do the math to see how bad things are.
He doesn't see farmers. He sees numbers on a balance sheet, pawns in a tariff war he can't win, and voters too loyal to notice he's selling them out in real time. The irony? Argentina and Brazil harvest their soybeans months before American farmers do. So by the time U.S. crops are ready, the Chinese market is already stocked. American farmers aren't just losing a season, they're losing a permanent customer base. Once you're replaced in a global supply chain, it's a game over. And yet, the betrayal goes deeper.
Historically, 60% of Iowa soybeans have gone to China. With Trump's trade wars from his first administration, the U.S. has become an unreliable supplier. So instead of these soybeans going to China, it's soybeans from South America, like places like Brazil and Argentina. That leads to more grains going to be left in the bin, which means to oversupply, which means to lower prices. So here's what we need to do. We need to demand trade, not aid. Farmers don't want a bailout, they want markets. The second thing we need to do is push for competition, both on the market side and especially on the input side with seed and fertilizer costs.
Here's the bitter truth. Soybeans made up nearly 20% of America's cash crop receipts last year. Without exports to China, that number craters. Futures markets are tanking, farmers are drowning in debt, and the so-called bailouts to U.S. farmers are nothing but band-aids on a gaping wound. Meanwhile, Argentina and Brazil are locking down long-term contracts with China that will keep American soybeans out of the game for years. So, let's call it what it is. Betrayal. Trump promised farmers prosperity. What he delivered was bankruptcy, broken supply chains, and foreign competition financed by American dollars. The Heartland thought they were voting for a champion. What they got was a con man who bankrupted casinos, now bankrupting them.
So I posted this weekend about this incredible bailout that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced, where he's sending $20 billion down to Argentina because the chainsaw-wielding, leather jacket libertarian down there, Javier Milei, drove their economy into the ground by trying to do a Doge-like situation there. Now, Bessent is a former hedge fund guy. The bunch of hedge funders in the United States went long on Argentine debt, like they thought, oh, this is going to work great. We're going to take a chainsaw to Argentina and the economy is going to recover. Instead, the economy nosedived. So now Bessent is bailing out these hedge fund guys. Now, who he also is bailing out is China, because Argentina was able to use the $20 billion we sent to cut prices for soybeans that they're selling to China. And China is trying not to buy them from us because Trump started a trade war with China. Now, so that's the backstory I told over the weekend. Today, you have an incredible photo taken by a photographer at the Treasury Department of the White House, snapping Scott Bessent's phone. On Scott Bessent's phone is a text message from Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins to Bessent and one other person. It looks like JG are the initials. I can't quite tell who the second person is. If anybody has any guesses, you can put them in the comments. But if it's difficult to read, here's what the text message to her says. She says, I'm getting more intel but this is highly unfortunate. We bailed out Argentina yesterday, parentheses Besant, and in return, the Argentines removed their export tariffs on grains, reducing their price, and sold a bunch of soybeans to China at a time when we would normally be selling to China. Soy prices dropping further because of it. This gives China more leverage on us. So there's Trump's agriculture secretary basically sounding like me.
And here's the part that should keep every farmer awake at night. This isn't just a temporary market hiccup. This is structural. Once China finds a cheaper, steadier partner like Argentina or Brazil, they don't just flip back when it's convenient for us. Trade relationships are like marriages. When the trust is broken, the partner who left doesn't usually come crawling back. They move on. And in this case, they're moving on with billions of dollars worth of contracts that should have gone to American farmers but are now securing long-term deals with our competitors. Trump didn't just fumble the bag. He gift-wrapped it and handed it to Buenos Aires and Sao Paulo. But it's not just about soybeans. It's about what soybeans represent. Agriculture is the one thing America has always done better than almost anyone else.
Right.
The vast land, the technology, the know-how. This was our ace card. When manufacturing jobs left, when coal mines closed, we could always point to the heartland and say, at least we feed the world.
Right.
Now, even that claim is crumbling. Under Trump, the U.S. isn't the breadbasket of the world anymore. It's the guy at the poker table watching his chips slide over to the competition while pretending he's still winning.
North Dakota farmers are in a bit of a crisis right now, and it seems like people outside of the state are paying attention, so I think it's time that we talk about it. North Dakota soybeans naturally go to the elevator at harvest. Some are stored, but not many. However, this year, we have no sales to China. Zero. Zilch. Goose egg. And we rely a lot on P&W exports. Because we don't really have an export program, we don't have a good basis. Our typical basis around harvest is like 75 under. Right now we are between $1.15 and $1.50 under. And some places are just contract only, which means they won't take any soybeans that aren't contracted, and some of them won't take any new contracts either. That means that when we're harvesting soybeans, we're going to put them in a bin. Bins are typically used for corn. When we get into corn harvests, we don't got anywhere to go with it. We have to go to the elevator with it. It's going to put more pressure on the corn basis. It's going to put more pressure on the ethanol basis. And we're just going to have ground piles, bags. It's not fun. If you don't have a logistics plan, you're kind of SOL. The problem's real. And I can tell you right now, it's not going to be solved with a government payment.
American soybean farmers, let's have a chat. One farm family to another. Are you aware that Trump is planning to send $20 billion to Argentina to bail them out? All because his buddy is running for re-election. He wants to make sure he gets re-elected. He's bailing them out. Plus, Argentina just made a humongous deal with China and took your biggest soybean market. So now China, they don't need any American soybeans. They get everything they need from Argentina. Plus, Argentina is getting your tax dollars to bail them out.
Right.
Trump doesn't plan to give you any bailout. He said maybe when the tariffs start paying off, that he'd give you a little something, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one because we've all figured out by now, right, that that's a tax on the consumer. And that's what's killing your farm.
And if you think this is just about dollars and cents, look at the ripple effect. Small-town banks depend on farm loans being repaid. Equipment dealers depend on farmers upgrading their tractors and combines. Rural schools depend on property taxes tied to land values. When soybean prices tank, it's not just the farmer hurting, it's the entire ecosystem around them. Trump isn't just bankrupting individuals, he's hollowing out communities. The very same real America he claimed he was fighting for is being gutted in slow motion. Now, here's where it gets even uglier. While Trump's tariffs choke American farmers, his administration's bailout of Argentina wasn't just random generosity. It's geopolitics. And it's politics at home. Argentina gets cash, cuts export taxes, and suddenly looks like a reliable supplier for China. Meanwhile, Trump gets to brag about fighting socialism in South America and scoring a foreign policy win while his own farmers lose everything. It's the art of the deal, Trump style. Sell out your base, then blame someone else when the checks bounce. And the cruelty goes one step further. Remember how Trump loved to frame himself as the savior of forgotten Americans? Those forgotten Americans are now literally being erased from the market, while their supposed champion is financing their rivals. It's one thing to get betrayed by your political enemy. It's another to get gutted by the man you cheered for at every rally. The one you put your...
try to get through this without crying. My name is Louise, and me and my family own a wheat farm in Kansas.
Pat Yeager, stop selling, stop coming in here lying to people. We already know this shit is public knowledge. You coming in here with the propaganda. Stop all the bullshit. We already know this shit is real. We already know they done got screwed over. So you shouldn't come in here trying to lie about nothing. Stop lying, because we already know the truth.
Or something.
Yeah.
Headline after headline today that Trump got his trade deal with China. And oh, what a trade deal it was. He raised the tariffs to 145%. China pushed back, raising reciprocal tariffs of their own. Farmers and ranchers lost $1.6 billion in beef sales. And Australia stepped in to fill the gap. Markets that will not come back again. Are you listening, farmers and ranchers? Up to 80% of corn crop exports gone. 37 billion metric tons of soybeans sold overseas, gone. Brazil, which used to sell China 13% of their row crop reserves and consumables, now sells them 43%, and those markets will not be back. Pork sales down. The threats of fowl sales, chicken, turkey, etc., going down. And what did we gain as a result? The administration admits that China gave up not one single concession to get...
One single concession. Screwed over, didn't give up one single concession. And now we going down the tubes. I ain't saying none of this. These are the other people saying this garbage. They saying, farmers saying it. I don't believe none of you. When you come in here and say you're farmers, I don't believe any of you. And none of y'all listening. I still need you Magites to put in the chat what this big beautiful bill did for you. I still need you to put that in the chat. Because if you didn't put it in the chat, if you didn't do it, get anything for it, that means you screwed the rest of us over for no reason. So we all need to figure it out. It's all liberal. It's all liberal clips. It's all liberal shit. Everything I done posted today, everything everybody posts today that's against your idiot orange thug, anything that's against your idiot orange thug is a clip, is a lie.
If you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, or if you wouldn't touch politics,
you ain't getting no taxes on no overtime. I just heard from freaking Jessica. I think it was Jessica or Nicole. That's a lie. Just dumb. He loved the poor, the uneducated. Just dumb. We know that's a lie.
With a 10-foot pole, you're going to suffer the consequences of this bad deal. It's time to wake up. It's time to admit you were lied to. We've got farmers in this country planting crops, not because they think they're going to sell them at a profit, but because they think they're going to get the highest amount in crop insurance for that crop when it's sold at a loss. It's time to wake up. It's time to put these culture wars aside and start voting in our best interest, because how much longer do we have with Wall Street and corporate ag and international companies standing on the sidelines waiting to buy up our small farms and ranches as they fail? As bankruptcies increase, as farmer and rancher unalivings increase in this term, just like they did in his last term, it's time to wake up. Join us here at the Back 40. Go to the Back 40 official, allspelledout.com, and join us in this fight. We can't lose very many more battles like this. We can't lose our farm programs. We can't lose SNAP in rural America. We can't lose Medicaid in rural America. We can't lose infrastructure investment in rural America. We can't allow reverse Robin Hood, where money is taken out of our rural schools and given to kids that are already attending private schools. The harm that will be done will be incalculable in rural America. And I, for one, am not going to stand idly by and watch it happen. And I want you to join me in the effort. It's time to stand up. It's time to put labels aside. It's time to do the right thing.
Pull up your bootstraps and find me $150,000.
Farmer William Delacamera of Ciccarelli's Harrison Hill Farm invited Senator Richard Blumenthal to tour his damaged lands in Northford Friday. He was passionate in his plea to Senator Blumenthal, pointing fingers and stating his demands.
I didn't want it to lip service to end. It's time to fix these problems.
Senator Blumenthal, though, didn't take offense to the intense exchange.
Farmer Will says he has acres and acres of tomatoes growing here on his farm, most of which have been damaged after the hailstorms. There are plenty of dents and bruises, some even the size of a quarter.
Caused hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. A group of 50 farmers and community members were there to back Farmer Willie, as they call him, and to express their frustrations with the way the state operates in their relief efforts.
We need to reform the system to make it fairer, because right now it's dominated by the big agricultural businesses that have monopolies.
So, well. We getting screwed. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me pull myself into the frame. Okay, here we are. We back, guys. We back. Now let's explain this one thing, okay? All of these testimonials came from farmers, people who understand farmers, people who are in the farming business. Okay? The bottom line is the president screwed over the farmers. What he did was he started a tariff war. If you tell me that I got to pay 25% on my goods when I used to pay 5%, now I got to pay 25%. That means you're going to charge me 20% more, which means I have to take that 20% on, and that means the consumer is going to take that 20% on. That's how tariffs work. Now, what happened with your president said, we're going to charge China 25%. And then China said, oh, hell no. We just ain't going to buy from y'all no more. We're going to go over here and buy from Argentina. We're going to go over here and buy from Canada. We're going to go over here and buy from Australia. We don't have to do business with y'all. That's what China said. That's what some countries said. We don't have to do tariffs with y'all. So, seeing as how this same thing happened in year 2018-19, the same thing happened. This president started a tariff war, and he lost that tariff war back then, where he had to pay the farmers, bail them out again. No, the first time he had to bail them out in 2018 and 2019. Well, according to Ozzy, I showed you a video that came from 2015. I don't know how I showed you a 2015 video 10 years later, but according to him, I showed you a 2015. I don't understand it. But either way, the president screwed over the farmers, and so they get screwed over, which means we're going to get screwed over. Okay? The opening window to sell the crop, soybean crop, was beginning of this November. Argentina's window to sell their crop was earlier. So what they did was they sold all of their soybeans, or most of their soybeans, to China. Seeing as how China said, we ain't dealing with you Americans no more. We're going to go elsewhere. And so where did they go? They went over to China. And they don't just change the people that they buy soybeans from willy-nilly. Once they find a place that's going to not screw them over, they're going to stay there. So this tariff war fucked us over from one of our biggest customers, which means we're all going to get screwed over because of this. Y'all hit the like and share and subscribe button, please and thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the kind of content we give every night. It depends on the subject. It depends on everything. We might have subjects on the farming. We might have subjects on Charlie Kirk. We might have subjects on Donald Trump. We might have subjects on Bad Bunny. We might have subjects on race. We might have subjects on white privilege. We're going to have subjects all the time. Every evening we have a subject on something, right? So please like and share and subscribe, okay? And don't be a menace in the chat, okay? I welcome all people who come over. If you want more information, factual information, here it is. But that's the bottom line. The president promised Argentina $20 billion with $20 billion on the back end. So a total of $40 billion. He gave them the $20 billion initially, and what did they do? They immediately dropped the tax that they had on soybeans. And China said, we'll take your soybean. We ain't got to get none from the United States. We can get them from y'all. Y'all drop y'all 25% tax. We finna take them from y'all. Which means they screwed over the American farmer, which is how American farmers are out of there. They fucked up. Okay? I don't have a problem with you bailing out other people as long as you make sure that we as Americans have all the things we need. Why is it that we can't have universal health care? Why is it we can't have free lunches for every kid in school? Why is it that we can't have term limits on our politicians? Why can't we get a moratorium on the rent and the mortgage and all that? Why can't we all get every household get $1,000 worth of food stamps to help us pass this food shortage, to help us pass this food problem? This is the problem I have when you start bailing other people out instead of putting America first. That's how I know this president doesn't give a damn about the middle class. The people who make between $30,000 and $150,000 are getting screwed. We're the ones that are paying these people this money. Why can't we demand what we want? That was the point of the No Kings rally yesterday. You got to start doing things for the American people. You can't be doing screwing the American people over. Okay? Argentina just sold all their beans to China. Okay? We're screwed. Okay? We're the ones that screwed. Okay? So now we finna go through it. All you maggots, all you right-handed, right-wingers, all y'all that voted for Donald Trump, you just dragged us all down the hole even deeper. Even deeper. Because we getting screwed over. Okay? Not one of you put anything in the chat that said what you got from the big, beautiful bill. I want you maggots. I want you maggot people to put it in the chat. What did you get from this big, beautiful bill? No, I'm not calling you any names. I called you maggot. That's what you are. Okay? According to, what does this tax and the overtime mean? The no tax on overtime or whatever the fuck y'all talking about. Okay? Whatever that means. What that means is, imagine if when you got a full-time job or you have a part-time job, you get paid $20 an hour. Time and a half is $30 an hour. 20 times half of that, $30 an hour. Okay, that means if you work $30 an hour, you $20 an hour, you get $30 if you work overtime. Before that new law, your regular pay and your overtime pay were both taxed by the federal government. But the new law changes that. That's what the new law changes. This is what the new law does. Very simple, plain terms. For all you goofies out there who keep putting in the chat, no tax on tips. The law doesn't make your overtime completely free, tax-free. It gives you a special tax deduction at the end of the year. The government still takes out taxes from your paycheck throughout the year, just like always. The deduction is only for the half, for the $20 an hour that you make plus the $10 that's overtime, it's for the $10. It only applies to the extra half you get from working overtime. For example, in our example of the $20 you make per hour, and then if you work overtime, you get $30, regular 20 plus half of that. Okay. In our regular example, that's the extra $10 per hour that gets charged the tax, not the whole 30. So for every hour of overtime you work, you can deduct that extra $10 from your taxable income later. But seeing as how food is going up every week, more money and more money and more money, that basically means you're not getting any money. You're not, the tax and the overtime, that means nothing, because the food is going up so much every 5 days or whenever it goes up, you're not making any money. There's no benefit to you. Okay. So you're just getting screwed over for maybe chump change. Half of y'all don't even know what the fuck that president said. Y'all thought taxes on tips. I ain't going to pay no taxes on tips. I ain't going to pay no taxes. Oh, wow. Coming down. Food ain't coming down. Stop it, R. Stop it. Don't be lying to people. Food is not coming down. Food is going back up. That's wild. Don't be lying to the people. We only deal with facts over here. Taxes, yeah, this zombie people. These are zombie people. You can't back up nothing. So I still ain't got the people who could, I still ain't got what he did for you in the big, beautiful bill, what he's going to do for you. Owning the libs is not a fucking policy. Owning the libs is not a fucking policy. Every time we put you Republicans in power, you don't know how to govern. Okay? You don't know how to govern. I can't say it no plainer than that. Okay? Republicans don't know how to govern. They do everything for the rich people and never do anything for the. So that's the reason why we had the rally yesterday. We had the rally because people are tired of getting screwed over. Okay? Tired of getting screwed over by this administration specifically because they're doing more and more things to benefit them and not benefit the American people. Okay. So as long as they're benefiting only the American people and we're paying for the benefit of the rich people, I got a problem with that. So we have a problem with that. Okay. So y'all hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, do all of those things, please and thank you. Okay. The whole point, the financial ruin of American farmers has several consequences to it, though, including higher food prices, increased food supply vulnerability, of course, and the rural economic collapse, because there's plenty of collapses in farms that have been collapsing. Okay. Here's the thing. We got people. When somebody asked me, what are there farmers often having our farmers, being vulnerable and feel as though they need to take their own life? Okay, so reports have been linked to financial distress for a lot of people. And then there's been people who have been offing themselves because of the effects of these tears. Okay. There's no direct evidence that says this is why people are offing themselves, but what other thing can we attribute to it? The cumulative effects of the trade war, market instability, financial pressure, you name it, is why they're screwing each other over, or they're taking each other out the door. Okay. I don't know how to stop it. We don't know how to stop it, but we do know that this president is in the wrong. We know this president is going in the wrong direction. We do know that. So hopefully y'all got the memo. You got the message. So if y'all got the message, Hopefully you got the message. And next November, when we vote, we need to vote these people out of office. He knew this was going to happen because it happened the last time. That's the point. It happened the last time because they got bailed out the last time. And J.D. Vance has bought shares in a company that is buying up farms. It's called Acre Trading. Acre Trader. He's got shares in that Acre Trader that is buying up farms. Okay? So who do you think is buying up these farms once these farms become not any good for the farmer? This is your, don't ask Black America. Y'all wild. So this is where we're at right now. We have the farmers getting screwed, people getting screwed. All of these people are getting screwed. The whole point is we have several consequences that are coming down the pike, that are going to come down the pike for all of us. Okay? As farms fail, the agricultural industry becomes more consolidated, more precise. There's going to be fewer farmers, fewer corporate farms controlling more of the food supply, which basically means we're going to get screwed over and it's going to be more expensive food. Corporate consolidations will allow these large players to maybe pay lower prices to the remaining farmers, but still, we're going to get charged. We're going to get screwed over by the pricing. So we just screwed. We just screwed. We really, really screwed. And this was the worst. This was the worst decision that we could have made. People who voted for this president, this was the worst decision that you could have made. It was the worst decision that you could have made. But that's okay. We here. You drug us down the hole. We here. So we got to deal with what we got to deal with. So everybody need to buckle up, tighten up your bootstraps, tighten up your belt, do whatever you got to do and make it work for you. Because we ain't getting no help from the government. And the only way we going to get help from the government is if we vote this whole Republican apparatus out. We need to vote all of y'all out. We need to vote all you Republicans out because you're only screwing over the regular or more, normal everyday persons. And we can't afford to get screwed over anymore. We don't rely on the government, retard. Who relies on the government? Who are you talking about? Us on the internet. Stop talking as though you're talking to Bum Keisha in the neighborhood. You're not talking to Bum Keisha in the neighborhood, dummy. We don't rely on them to give us stuff. Just dumb. We all have jobs. We all have play. This is wild. But anyway, vote immigrants in to take black job. Wild. Black people ain't gonna stay those jobs anyway. They weren't gonna take those jobs anyway. You're gonna, Pat, that's the problem with what you're thinking. Didn't you see the crowds yesterday? You didn't see the crowds yesterday, Pat? Then I think you're the one that has the issues. I think you're the one that's fucked up. The whole point is they're going to vote these people out. Hopefully, everybody got the memo. All of the immigrants' families, all of the legal people, ain't nobody paid all them damn people to show up, John. Grow up. Ain't nobody paid no 7 million people to show up. Shut your dumb ass up. It don't even make no sense. Anyway, please hit the like button, the subscribe button. We have this kind of content every night. Current events, all of these things. We have these discussions every night. We normally would have the panel open, but I don't feel like dealing with this goofy stuff. And the goofy people don't like to come up and defend their stances because they never can feel their stance. But I still want to know what this big, beautiful bill did to the poor people, for the poor people. I really want to know what good did this big, beautiful bill do to the poor people. Okay. I'll wait. I'm only going to wait for a couple seconds. You saw the election, didn't you? Yeah, we saw the election. And we finna see this next election. And we saw that crowd yesterday too. We saw all that. And we saw y'all dragging all them Mexican people out the country and dragging all those Mexican people to Alcatraz. We saw all of that. And so did half the white folks. I already got the memo. My people already got the memo. Okay, so we already got the memo. 92%, 80%. We black folks already got the memo. The Hispanic people are starting to get the memo. Hispanic and the Asian and the Hindu and all that, they starting to get the memo. So, hey, it is what it is. Trump is back, baby. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Now the fucking farmers get it. But y'all hit the like, share, subscribe button, please, and thank you. I appreciate y'all showing up for the content. We do this every night at 10 o'clock. Today is early because there's a football game on. Football game finna start. I will talk to you all later. I will have another conversation tomorrow. Who the hell knows what the conversation is going to be? Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, please show up with bells on. We'd love to have your input. Please hit the like and the share and the subscribe button. Please and thank you. I appreciate all of you. Hey, Ty, I appreciate all of you. You know I do. I will see y'all tomorrow.